Hi, everybody. So today's Monday, the 21st, right, of December. I have to excuse all the noise. If you hear they're cutting the golf course up back there, the grass actually. Oh my gosh, today it's balance, which is really interesting. Okay. It's a major synchronicity for me. Okay, hopefully for you guys too. All right, let's just see what it says. Strive for balanced expectations of others. Strive for healthy tolerance. Ooh, healthy tolerance. In the past, we may have tolerated too much or too little. We may have expected too much or too little. We may swing from tolerating abuse, mistreatment, and deception to refusing to tolerate normal human imperfect behaviors from people. I'm going to read that again. We may swing from tolerating abuse, mistreatment, and deception to refusing to tolerate normal, human, imperfect behaviors from people. Although it's preferable not to remain in either extreme too long, that is how people change. Real people who struggle imperfectly toward better lives, improved relationships, and more effective relationship behaviors. But if we are open to ourselves and to the recovery process, we will at some time begin another transition. It becomes time to move away from extremes towards balance. We can trust ourselves and the recovery process to bring us to a balanced place of tolerance, giving, understanding, and expectations of ourselves and others. Okay, I'm going to read that one again too. We can trust ourselves and the recovery process to bring us to a balanced place of tolerance, giving, understanding, and expectations of ourselves and others. We can each find our own path to balance as we begin and continue recovery. Today, I will practice acceptance with myself and others for the way we change. If I have had to swing to the other extreme of a behavior, I will accept that as appropriate for a time. But I will make my goal one of balanced tolerance and expectations of myself and others. All right, whoa. Today, I will practice acceptance with myself and others for the way we change. If I've had to swing to the other extreme of a behavior, I will accept that as appropriate for a time. Okay. If I have had to swing to the other extreme of a behavior, I will accept that as appropriate for a time. Okay, now I get it. I was like, what the hell? All right, let me start over. Today, I will practice acceptance with myself and others for the way we change. If I have had to swing to the other extreme of a behavior, I will accept that as appropriate for a time. But I will make my goal one of balanced tolerance and expectations of myself and others. Okay, and I just heard accept people where they're at. Okay? Which, it's easy to do at times, depending on, I feel like for me, just in general, it's been easier for me to do this with people who aren't closest to me. Because, but like here it says, there's always room for improvement. And I'm not alone in this placing expectations, okay? But it's about this balance, learning to accept people for where they're at, understanding that just because I'm somewhere doesn't mean somebody else has to be there too, or just because I view one way doesn't mean somebody else has to view the other way or doesn't see it my way, compromising. All right. Yeah, that's what I'm getting for that. Okay. So balance. And then it's like maybe like the only example they're bringing to my forefront is in regards to sex, okay? Because it's like going from possibly being promiscuous to complete abstinence, okay? Like that's an extreme. That's like going from one extreme to the next extreme, okay? And maybe for a time you have to until you can like start to add sex possibly like with one person, slowly integrate that back into your life, okay? Rather than like being over here where it's like, you know, maybe you have multiple partners to over here where you have none, and then slowly weeding it, you know, building it up to where there's just, you're doing it possibly multiple times, but with one person. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's, that's, somebody must have needed to hear that because that's what they gave me. All right. So let's see what the card is. Okay. All right. So they said the appetite for destruction, understanding, being under, okay, this is what they're saying to me. So some of you may be dealing with someone, or you may be someone who, yeah, there's like a rigidness, or you're coming across rigid. And this is about, yeah, showing your softer side, you know, so that you can become more balanced. Because maybe somebody went from having, you know, lots of sex to no sex. I don't know why they're bringing up sex, but that's what they're saying. So maybe it's time to, for some of you to, I don't know, get it on. I don't know, but find a balance with it, okay? Yeah, you don't have to go to the extreme. Maybe there's a hesitation with having sex because you're afraid of going to the extreme. And maybe like it's like you haven't been having sex because maybe you have a tendency to get excessive with it or something. I don't know. All right, here we go. The lower world. I don't know. I just, it's humorous, right? Like spirit has humor. All right, so 31. I opened up to page 30. All right, so let's see what this says. The essence. The lower world holds the hidden treasures of humanity. It is a place of rich and fruitful darkness where we can find the disowned parts of ourselves and the abandoned aspects of our psyches. The lower world is the place of our ancestors where we discover the gifts and lessons from the past. It is the realm of the collective unconscious. Here we can meet our demons and transform them into pure energy, our source of personal power. Okay, so now the whole sex thing's bound, like making some sense here, okay? So it's like, okay, let me just, the invitation. It is time to unearth your hidden treasures. Do not make yourself small in order for others to like or accept you. Bring out the gems and precious stones that you've kept inside your heart, hidden even from yourself. It's time to honor your past and recast your life as a heroic quest. As you journey into the lower world, you will be offered all the gifts of your ancestors. Their struggles, the way they hurt, the way they lived, and the way they died will become blessings. Because, like, I don't really, like, even though I might use the word mistake, like, I don't really feel like anything's ever really a mistake. Why? Because I usually search for the lesson in it. You know, hopefully I don't have to make it that same mistake twice, but okay, so I feel like that's what they're talking about there. It's like their struggles, the way they hurt and the way they lived and the way they died will become blessings. So this also feels like some sort of awakening. There's people going through an awakening here, which makes sense, just because of all the stuff happening in the sky. And the only reason why I generalize it like that is because I don't know like the verbiage, okay? Like I understand it. I'll read some things for myself, but I don't, you know, sometimes they'll give me things. Okay, let's get back to it. The medicine. Are you one of those people who do not like to face the past? Now your past is calling to be acknowledged, to be heard, and to be embraced. The only way to become unstuck is to honor everything that has transpired in your life. Reflect on lessons learned and move on. If you bear witness to your past and learn its lessons, it will stop haunting you. As you embrace its gifts, you will recover a missing part of your soul. Dang. Okay, so I feel like there's like, I mean, this is the lower world. So some of you may be struggling with some sort of addictions, but this is a 31, which breaks down to a 4, which is all about stability and foundations. I'm hearing focus. Okay, so maybe in the past there was you had some sort of consequence to your behavior, because they're bringing this sex thing up, okay, to your behavior, which made you go to an extreme. Like, I don't know, I'm hearing something about somebody caught like a uh, let's just, whatever, you had some sort of consequence to your behavior, okay, whether it's like you got somebody pregnant, maybe you caught a sexually transmitted disease, maybe like it just sets you off like into other things, whatever it was, something happened that was bad enough that made somebody stop. Or someone's trying to change their behavior, and so it's like you're feeling like the answer is the extreme opposite, which is like not doing anything, but it's not really about that. Because everything that you were, or maybe you just like have had sex with the wrong people, and like it's like you're so giving, and it's like you give of yourself, but then it's like you're not receiving the same attention and love back from giving yourself. So there's a lesson there, okay? So this is something that is being explored, or being asked of you to explore. Where have you been overindulging, or where had you been overindulging that you've gone to the other extreme of just like, and that can be, they're even showing me like with people, like maybe you've just cut people out of your life. Or like you just don't talk, you just haven't said anything, but it's like there's something, there's a lesson here. I mean, last paragraph, let me just read this last paragraph again. Are you one of those people who do not like to face the past? Now your past is calling to be acknowledged, to be heard, and to be embraced. Yeah, see, it's like, don't be ashamed of wherever you've been. And I know like that's a whole process in itself, but your ancestors and guides are letting you know that they're around you, and it's like you experienced all that for a reason. And the more that you look into your behavior or whatever it is that you're dealing with right now, it's like it's going to be revealed to you why it all happened and why you ended up where you are. And then like as you because I'm hearing trust yourself more. And so in this whole process of this inner search, it's like you're going to learn how to you're going to start to trust yourself more. So it's like you'll be able to venture out of like that other extreme of like total abstinence, okay? Because maybe, this time you're not just going to, whatever you were drawn to over here, it's possible like it's not you're not going to do it the same way. You're going to see that you've learned from this past, and they even said your ancestors are there. Their struggles, the way they hurt, the way they lived, and the way they died will become blessings. And this, it's like you're being gifted the lessons of all your ancestors, and it's being awakened, or it will be awakened as you embrace this part of you that's like, I just heard, a dirty little secret that you keep as your dirty little secret. Because there's like really nothing dirty about it. Like it's you, it's part of you. It's helped you become the you that you are. Okay? Because this whole process of, it's about balancing, which is what the title was, right? Balance, what we read, balance of both your light and dark side. And your dark side meaning, those parts of you that are your dirty little secrets, the parts of you where like it's your temper, or it's like overindulgence in sex, or maybe you're into drugs or alcohol, or gossip. Gossip is a killer, man, a slow killer. And yeah, and it's just kind of like, you don't have to be like, everybody's carried their own, I don't even want to call them weaknesses, but it's like, had to go through their own tests, their own lessons. Yeah. So I feel like some of you out there are just learning to embrace these darker sides of you, or trying to, or wanting to. You're being pushed to anyway. So not to like banish them or to find shame in them, but to integrate them into who you are. Okay? It's like, it's okay to, you know, be freaky, but like, maybe don't go out and be freaky with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, and because of whatever's gone down with all these other people that you've been freaky with, it's like, I feel like some of you have suffered some consequences, okay? And it's like, because you've suffered these consequences, you've seen yourself in a different way. You've also seen the other people that you've participated with in a different way. Like, I don't know, they're showing me like somebody like, maybe male or female, it's like you were kind of like a player, or like a lot of people are attracted to you and you just kind of like did your own thing, and like, but it's like you're seeing the consequences of that, of running through people or something like that. I don't know, something's, there's and they're asking you to face it. Don't be ashamed of it. They're not asking you to look at it because you're going to be like damned to hell or anything like that. Like, nothing like that is ever going to happen. All right? They want you to learn to love this part of yourself, because it is part of yourself. It's okay to be sexy and desirable, and it's even okay to enjoy sex. But again, they're talking about the balance. It's like, are you going to repeat the behaviors of the past, or are you going to, there's something about integrating the past and the present, like the past and the lessons you've learned from the past, and then it gives you this balance towards future relationships. Whew, all right, Phil's done. That was crazy. All right. But not really, but it makes total sense. So anyway, there you go. The underworld. Embrace your dark side. It's all good, baby. We all got it. All right. I love you. Bye.